everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in to our first episode of the Grace Period. And it's an honor to co-host the show with you two, Diana and Lauren. So before we dive into today's discussion, I would love for you guys to share with the viewers who you are, where you are in the world, and what are you looking forward to do this upcoming season?
Lauren, go first.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm Lauren Kress. I am a commercial and editorial photographer based in Roswell, Georgia. I'm Lauren Liz Photo on all the things. And yeah, so I'm in Roswell, Georgia, northeast of Atlanta. It depends on what season you're talking about. I guess the current season we're in is the season of staying home. And so that's just been, it's just been interesting because even though I do work from home, because I have my own business, I'm a freelancer, and I guess sort of like the home is my office, I'm usually so incredibly on the go to shoots or meetings or what have you that it's usually pretty hard for me to carve out time to just be home. And so it's been hard to get used to just not being able to leave at all. So I would say this season is all about kind of like learning how to still kind of be creative and still, do things, but in a new way. So,
yeah. And I'm Diana Baines. I am a graphic designer and a mom of two. I have a 10-year-old and a 4-year-old. I work full-time for university in the communications and marketing department, but I also freelance. Specifically, I do brand identity, and I collaborate a lot with Ms. Lauren. We do identity packages together. I've been a designer for about 13 years, and in this current state, I am also a stay-at-home at the moment, and I am also homeschooling and working, and it's been quite a challenge. And I know a lot of moms out there feel the pain. It is we're all riding that struggle bus, and it's been interesting to say the least.
Yeah. And what I've noticed, and Lauren, you do have children as well.
I know. I tend to be too business oriented. Yeah, I have 3 kids altogether. I have one that I made, and then I have 2 amazing bonus kids. And I have an incredible fiance, and yeah, so we are. It's sort of a double-edged sword because on the one hand, we do not have them all here right now because I'm high risk, and so we're just being extra careful. So we're sort of parenting from afar in a way. We're still going to see them and kind of take walks outside from 6 feet, but then also trying to still help stay on top of school stuff via FaceTime, which is really challenging. And so, yeah, it's been, I feel for the all my kids are here constantly and they all are just tired of each other, but I'm like, oh, I wish I could.
Yeah,
I would love that too. So none of it's easy for anybody. So
no, I think any situation is difficult right now. I mean, every situation has its own challenges.
It does.
Tia, you should give us your rundown. I know that Saber TV is used to it. If we have any new people, I just feel like for this.
Sure, why not?
all your things. All
right, you guys. Well, if you don't know me, my name is Tia Green. I am the passionate founder and voice at Liebe PR, which Liebe means love in German. Maybe that's why I'm drinking out of a coffee cup of love. But we're all things traditional marketing and public relations. But I know if you have watched me on Saber TV, I produce, direct, and curate. I say curate because each episode is non-scripted. So I always like to make sure when we're diving into the episode, I am actually pairing these episodes and everyone in it with each other throughout the season. So I feel like it's its own artistry. I'm taking my own spin on television, honestly. And it's okay. Just do it. Who said there's a wrong way of doing it digitally? So that being said, I have 2 business children, Liebe and Saber. the love of my life. I have a future stepdaughter. I love her. Her name is Soren. She's a rock star. And yeah, all things Savory and Leva. So not used to doing that, Lauren. Thank you. And you know that.
I know.
Oh, hi.
Again, we have a visitor. Say hi and bye.
Hi.
Hi, sweet boy.
All right. Go see daddy.
Bye-bye.
Oh my goodness. So fun story I have to share. So my bonus kids call me Lala. And actually Diana's son, Lucas, was the first person to call me Lala because that was just like the easy thing to say. So he's my sweet boy.
You started Lala.
The Lala time.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
love
my
that.
goodness. Oh.
Well, one thing I'm really excited about over the next weeks to come with the grace period is just inspiring people to know this is just a grace period of what we're going through. And grace period can mean many things to many people. I know we touched on challenging times. I would love to talk about what has been the challenge for both of you lately from like a business standpoint, but also a family standpoint and balancing that. Like, what do you think that you're learning through this time with just COVID itself? And what can you take away from this?
Lauren.
Oh man, that's a loaded question. From a business standpoint, this has actually been a really nice, calm period. I was very blessed to have just a very busy last year and a half since going back full time into my business. And so I'm just using this to be able to sort of catch up on editing and, do some things that are working on my business rather in my business. So, updating my website, looking into some government contract work that I hadn't been able to really pursue just because I didn't have time to. It's a lengthy process to get registered and all that. So it's been a nice break. I am, thinking about the more this keeps getting extended, like now it's going to be well into April, maybe May. I am thinking, okay, so, I'll need to think about, really focusing more on product photography and things that I can do from my home that I normally go places just, for a convenience standpoint, but very much things I can do from home because we have a studio set up in the basement. So, thinking about that. But personally, it has definitely shown me the areas that, like things that I'm just very attached to, like having my kids here, which, I know is normal, but it's been this constant struggle of, like trying to think through all the ways that maybe it would, be okay to take that risk. But then having to reason with myself and say that, it's waiting out a month or however long is really, is worth it to stay safe, ultimately for our kids.
Yeah.
And it's also what I've been thinking about today was how this has made us so much more mindful of not being wasteful of things.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to leave the house more than once every other week to go to the groceries. And so like being very mindful of like, let's not overuse the paper towels. Let's not like, what?
Strategic.
What was that? Yeah, exactly. So, like good and bad. And I don't know, I'm trying to learn from all of it.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah.
I, like we said before, I kind of have the opposite challenge where my 10-year-old and 4-year-old are home with me all day. My husband goes into work early. He gets out late afternoon. But from time they wake up until about 3 o'clock, it's mommy. And I've got to be on for work at 8 a.m. And I try to do as much as I can in between schoolwork. Bella's doing her digital learning online. Sometimes there's Zoom meetings with her teachers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, we're so blessed to have this technology right now to, enable us to still see and talk and communicate with each other with distance and with so many people at the same time. So, and, you know, she has some challenges that make doing the schooling away from school difficult. She's got some reading disabilities. So it takes a lot of extra time and patience. And I guess that's been one of the major struggles, and keeping my son occupied at the same time. So thank goodness for Netflix because that's really attention. There's so many shows, and he, you know, and I've really gone back to finding ways to keep them entertained with crafting. That is one thing I know how to teach and, you know, work with them on, and I feel confident in doing that kind of stuff. So I've definitely been pulling a lot of stuff that I've saved up over the years for crafting, and actually kind of tapping into some of my old artistic habits and painting and stuff just to keep myself de-stressed. I've been doing little projects here and there. I've got one coming up that I'm excited to do. It's just a massive painting on the biggest canvas I've ever painted on. I'm
so excited for you to start that.
Yeah, I'm excited to start too. But when it got a little chilly, I didn't want to work on it in the garage, which is where I'm going to be doing it. So I'm going to wait till it warms up. But, you know, and then, you know, on the flip side, it's doing the freelance for my side business, Baines Creative Design, managing some of those projects, which at the moment are some of them are on hold because some of the people I'm working with, unfortunately, have gotten the virus. So pressing the pause button on that and hoping everybody gets well soon. But you know, the lovely challenge or the news we received yesterday that school will not be returning, you know, they will not be going back to school at all this semester is like, okay. And
yeah, I saw
digital learning for the rest of April and May. I'm like, oh my word.
I know. I saw an email go out from Cobb County talking about how, I mean, we're in Fulton County, but Gabriel's still in Cobb for the rest of the year. But like about there's going to be choices about whether they keep their grades from like before school ended or they can choose to like, you know, keep trying for a better grade. It was a long email, so I got to really sit down and dig into that and figure out.
Our county hasn't sent anything out like that, but
that's right. You're
yeah, learning till the end.
Oh man, this is something else. What about you, Tia? What have your challenges and good things been in this time?
I think for me, because I do work from home 80% of the time, I'll say 75% of the time, or I'll say 60% of the time. I keep going back.
You gotta think about like filming.
It depends on the day.
I know. It really depends on the day. Because I love being on site with my clients. I love interacting with them daily. I love, like, you've been here one day. Hopefully you'll come to Diana and see what House Sag Harbor is. It's such a cute, lovable village. Like, we're always out and just going to the coffee shop, sitting down and writing and being able to get out in the community. Yeah. So my challenge has been I miss it because I loved walking into the coffee shop on a daily basis because for me, I love giving back to the locals. And I love seeing the group of guys, older gentlemen, very mature in their 60s and 70s, have their paper open. Hi, Miss Tia. Hi, Chris. Hey, how's that wedding planning? Oh, that's wild. He asks me this every day. I'm like, every time you ask, Lyle's not here, but when Lyle is here, you don't ask. What's going on with that?
Yeah. Hey, listen, 'tis the season of the Zoom wedding, Tia.
No.
Mark's mom has said she's all for it. She's like, yes, and then we'll just do it up later. Go ahead.
You guys do that. I'll come. I'll be your guest. I'll send you guys a gift via email. No, we're gonna wait till next year. So yeah. But no, like the challenge for me has been just and also hopping on the plane every month to see my family and clients and friends and just having that balance. It's been hard because I'm so used to being around so many people and being creative and helping their dreams come to life with me just being there. And now me being home and the love of my life is home and we live in a tiny home, legitimate tiny home. You've been here, Lauren, so it's tiny. And being able to create now a schedule that I have to let all my clients know. I'm like, instead of me being on 24/7, which I am a workaholic, now I tell everyone, okay, you guys, you have between 10 in the morning and 8 a.m. to connect with me digitally, phone, email, because before 10 a.m. and after 8 p.m., it's not happening anymore because I have to give my time to the love of my life. So that's what I've learned over the past because we've been quarantined, like we decided to stay home, not interacting with anyone since March 15th. We have not seen anyone. Like we stayed home. We have someone else that grabs our things and drops it off. And just honestly, it's helped our relationship because me being a workaholic, he's always like, so Tia, when are you gonna get done with that call? And it's 10 o'clock at night. I'm like, oh, I'll be done in 30 minutes. Hour later, hey Rogers, I gotta call you back. Wow, look at that. And this is like, and people don't realize I run my PR agency during the day and at night it's all Saver. So I'm doing post-production, watching footage, editing. And I'm like, so Lyle's usually like, okay, I guess we'll get together Sunday. And I feel bad. And I'm like, I can't do that. So now I look at COVID-19 teaching me a lesson. Healthy boundaries, making sure people know, like,
Right.
having my time. I have my morning now with the love of my life. Now we have coffee together.
That's
Now we
nice.
talk and have breakfast every day. And then he goes, does his thing, and I go do my thing. Oh, I love this new schedule. And then at night, he knows after 8 o'clock, it's our time. We can watch a movie. We can cook together. We can have our family FaceTime. So now, over the past 3 weeks, I have evolved. I feel like I've evolved in a way as a businesswoman, not being too busy and being that workaholic, but now being that businesswoman that I'm able to balance it all. Let me knock on wood. I've been balancing it off for the past 3 weeks. So even dealing with crises, like being in PR, dealing with crises, I've been dealing with it for 3 weeks too, and helping clients go through this time from an emotional standpoint to a business standpoint. Even though I'm only available 10 to 8, even after 8, I'm still working on it. It doesn't mean that I'm just shutting it off. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So with that being said, that's been a challenge, but I'm very grateful to know that I'm taking this time to spend more time with him and taking this time to spend more time with me and also my team. Like I even told them, like, you guys, after 8 o'clock, just, you're done. Like, don't worry about it. Like, if you're passionate about it as I am, I'm not gonna stop you, but just take this time to be with your family. Take this time to really figure out what you really want to succeed over the next couple weeks. I'm looking at this time as a mini staycation.
Yeah. I mean, I think, I know the kids have been really, really missing their friends, but this is like one of the best opportunities for those kids to have to bond with each other, like without any interruption other than schoolwork. But, they have each other for the rest of however many weeks we have left. I mean, I feel bad for, kids who don't have, it's just them and they don't have a sibling or anything that at home with them. So, that must be difficult for children who are only children.
And I wonder what they're thinking about too at this time, because I don't know if it was our conversation that we said, I don't know if it was you ladies. I was saying, children that were brought into this world at 9/11, they were thinking that, oh my gosh, they're coming into this and they're hearing about, oh man, the year I was born, this happened. Now they're the ones that are graduating high school are the same kids that were born on like the year of 9/11. So
really?
Oh my gosh, I
yeah,
didn't know about that.
so they had this whole 17, 18 years of thinking of, man, I entered the world when something chaotic happened here in the
Right.
US.
It affected the whole world.
Affected the whole world. And now we're going into the real world and
That's so true.
look what's happening. So I had this deep conversation with someone the other day about it. And actually one of them was one of my team members, because she is graduating this year and she was born that year. And I'm like, how do you feel? And she's like,
Wow.
I didn't even think about that. But now I understand how some of her peers have anxiety
Mhm.
or, they deal with things differently. And I totally get it.
Yeah, I do. I think it's so unfortunate for like the seniors that right now they're like the last part of their senior year is kind of gone. I have a couple of friends with high school seniors, and they're just like, yeah, it's such a bummer. Like their proms are canceled. All their, I mean, just sort of like just all this. It
Good
abruptly
of her.
ended, and they thought we'd go back in a couple weeks, and then now it's just gone. You know, my son is in 5th grade, and so there was like a big 5th grade trip that was supposed to happen that was similar to one that I had done when I was in 5th grade that I still really remember because it's the first big like overnight trip. And now they don't get to do that, and he was really, you know, bummed about it. So it's just crazy the little things that you think about that are sort of like rites of passage or just like, you know, things that there are milestones, and to see those get, you know, to see those get interrupted is like, oh, it's such a bummer.
Bella had tickets to go see Taylor Swift.
Oh.
Remember I told you the ones that Louie kind of won? There were limited amount of tickets and free ones. She was doing this free concert in Atlanta.
Oh,
and
wow.
we
When was
presented
that
it to
gonna
her on her
be?
birthday. And it's not going to happen now.
Oh.
I wonder if
happened
Taylor
this
will do
Sunday.
something Zoom-wise.
I'm sorry?
I wonder if she'll do a live, like a concert
Yeah,
live.
I'm not sure. It was her and Halsey, and I can't remember the third person, but
Oh.
yeah. It's a big bummer. She was so sad about it. And I was like, honey, it's happening with everything. Think about the hardcore sports, you know, fans are missing their teams.
Baseball
Hardcore.
season.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Missing his Braves. I mean, it's hitting everybody, unfortunately. It's going to be interesting to see how everything kind of starts back up, going from this long hiatus of
Oh man.
nothing.
We were just talking yesterday. I was like, I can't wait to go to a sushi restaurant again. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Oh, and one of my last shoots before everything stopped ended with a big sushi segment, which, oh my goodness, this chef just made the most amazing sushi, and he made it fresh there to be photographed. So we got to eat it afterwards. Which
Ooh.
not all food shoots we actually get to like eat the food because you know it just depends. And so we did get to eat. I'm like, that's the last sushi I've had.
Yeah.
It's right before. So I miss it.
Yeah, I know now that people are actually thinking about when things do come back to normal, what will they do instead of taking certain moments for granted? Like for instance, today Lau and I went to the beach and just took a walk because we were just like, let's just take a walk and just breathe. And I looked around, I'm like, wow, there's no one here. And I'm like, wow, little moments that I take for granted. Like we used to just go to the beach with our friends and have dinner parties or just sitting there and just relaxing. And that made me start missing, man, I miss our friends. Even though I do like Zooming with them, but I miss sitting back and laughing and just.
Oh, you miss the in-person.
Yeah, I really
mean,
do.
This is the longest Lauren and I have ever not seen each other as best friends.
Oh my goodness. It seriously is. It's like, it's been weeks and it's going to be several weeks more. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we have, so we're in Roswell, but we're really close to downtown Alpharetta where we spend a lot of time. And Mark has a design and research lab in downtown Alpharetta. So we're there a lot. And I mean, it is just the best place to just walk around. And, you know, we know so many of the shop and restaurant owners and that, I mean, I feel like I really do appreciate it so much. And I really always have felt like, gosh, I mean, I'll tell Mark all the time, like, I love that we live here. And so I really miss it. And I cannot wait to just really be able to. And I'm glad that there are people that are like doing takeout and being able to, I mean, we're having to be a lot more extra cautious than some other people just because of, you know, my health stuff. But, you know, I miss it. And I'm like, I appreciated it then and I miss it now. And I can't wait to just jump back into it. Oh, I can't wait. Oh my goodness.
But quick thing before we end our session is I and I'm sure you all genuinely want to give a big shout out and thank you to all of the people who are working so hard during this crisis and are putting in the hours and hours and the risk of helping others. And I mean, I just thank you.
It's unreal. I know in a lot of places, a lot of hospital staff are not even going home because they don't want to infect their families. And so they're just like, they're working there and then they're sleeping there and then they're going back to work. And it's unimaginable. And it is heroic. It is heroic. I mean, it's incredible.
And it's
Yeah,
the medical
absolutely.
industry. It's so key, and we have to continue to say thank you to them so they know how much we love them. As well as our FedEx guy, our UPS man
That's
or
true.
woman,
Oh,
the
man.
restaurants that are staying open just to make sure that there is food. And I know that there's some restaurants out there that are actually giving food to the needy. I think the Atlanta Community Food Bank is doing
Yeah.
something with that, and just making sure
yes.
everything is being packaged and donated. There's so many unsung heroes out there right now that I feel like we should be singing their praises to. We should be saying thank you.
Right.
If
Absolutely.
it wasn't for you, we would not be able to go to the grocery store, because I have a friend that does work at a grocery store, and they said right when it shuts down, they're all cleaning for a couple hours, and they go home, and then they have to go back the next day, make sure everything's clean, and start over again. Like, where's our thank you? And I'm like, well, thank you. And I did buy them coffee, to say like, here you go. But I want to do more, I really want to do more. So I feel like our show with the grace period, that's what we can do, is just give people that friendly reminder of how to be graceful during this period of time.
Yes. Oh my goodness. And I would say, I just want to urge people to like remember that, because I think that the people that are seeing from what I have heard. So when I was doing a grocery pickup, the person who brought out my groceries was telling me about just some of the crazy experiences he'd had with people just getting super frustrated in the grocery store and just taking a lot of their frustration, anger out on them, because they're having to enforce, things to help make sure that there is enough for everybody, that people aren't overstocking on things. And, just remembering to give people some grace and remember that they are first of all, that is such a risk for them to be in that job consistently, and to stay there. And then, remember that they're helping us. And so, just be kind to people.
Definitely.
So.
And I feel that too, we should let everyone know too, this limited series, The Grace Period, was, it's founded of all of us coming together, creative souls, creative minds, visionaries, coming together to help anyone during this time, especially female run businesses. If you guys have any questions, if support, we're here for you. We'll have guests that come on and share what they're doing during this time to inspire you during this time as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know Diane and I work with a lot with businesses, helping them with, branding and, different marketing strategy things, and, how to use the resources they have, or, where to invest in new resources. So, I mean, if there's any questions we can answer about that, we'd be happy to do that.
Right. Because now's the time that digital is the thing. Because we can't be there physically. Digital's the next best. So, yeah.
It's the time for everyone to sit down and write down, what are your goals over the next year with your business? Where do you want to see yourself? Like, Lauren, I love the fact that you just said, now I'm working on my business. Like, you're literally like, I've been seeing you post on Instagram. I'm like, oh, snap, she just posted something.
I know.
I'm like, let me hurry up and like it to get her to post more.
I'm too busy shooting for other people's, Instagram marketing. I'm like, oh yeah, I need to actually post my own.
Yeah, and I love that you're taking that time for you. And same with you, Diana, you're taking time to build out your business. Like you work you're a full-time mom and dad, but you also have this business baby that I can't wait till she takes her first couple steps and rocking and rolling. We're all gonna be there cheering on.
Yeah. Well, I am incredibly thankful.
So I just did this last. Oh, sorry.
No.
There's a delay. I was just saying, toward the end of last year, I just got into, it's not a new idea or anything, but it wasn't something I had really done before. Was thinking about setting goals in terms of quarters rather than the whole year. And so we did just start a new quarter. So thinking about April, May, June, which may very well be when this little container, starts and ends.
Yeah.
And so thinking about just that 3-month period of, okay, look at this 3 months. What are your goals for that? What could you do personally, professionally, how are you going to use this time, and stay home while you do it as much as you can. But, thinking about that instead of just like, oh, this whole year, like breaking it down into a smaller piece, I think it makes it a little less overwhelming.
Right. I think the first couple of weeks having to be quarantined, not knowing what was going to happen, I was in a bit of a panic mode. Like all of a sudden I'm a home teacher trying to figure out, working schedule of working from home and teaching or helping teach. And now, I know we're not going to finish, or they're not going to go back to school. So I think, like you said, Lauren, taking that time to like, okay, it could be in the next 3 months before I return back to a normal working schedule and the kids get back into a routine that they're used to. What can we accomplish during this time? And, set goals and, and a schedule for that. I think that is very valuable advice.
And I love that you said that, Lauren, because I actually utilize that myself. Like at the beginning, I would say in December, there's 2 weeks of planning, and I plan the entire year, the next year, as you know, I'm a planner, and then I condense it down to seasons. So people say quarters, I say seasons. What are we going to do in the spring? What are we doing in the summer? What are we doing in the fall? What are we doing in the winter? And what are our clients doing? Boom, boom, boom. Like, so for me, I'm seasonal driven. And since this time, spring brings May showers, I can say that. So think about like how your business can blossom during this time.
Mm-hmm.
What we can do digitally during this time.
Right.
And I love the fact that you said, Lauren, product photography, and Diana, I love the fact that even with designing, you are still able to give advice to many souls out there that may need it like this.
Yeah.
So I feel like during this grace period, it's our time to really just like help other people elevate and rise into their steps of where they could go.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's about supporting and helping. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's our
Definitely.
time. So this season, we're going to have many guests. Like, who would you guys like to have on our show?
I suggested, a teacher.
Yeah.
And, knowing their experiences and, what their challenges have been during this time. I mean, I can say for sure, I definitely have a even bigger appreciation for teachers now, knowing what they go through every day. But what are the things that they're thinking? What are the things that, the goals that they're setting? What's going on in their minds? Teachers for sure.
Yeah. I was just thinking, I have a friend from church who she was already homeschooling her kids. And I know that this has not been easy for homeschool parents because, it's still a change. There were still opportunities to go and do things, get out. Now, they're feeling quarantined just as much as everybody else. But I think that I'd be really interested to, pick her brain about homeschooling and see, how she normally navigates that. Cause I'm sure she would have some valuable insights for, just, I don't know, for me, my biggest challenge with it is like, when you have kids who are just like, don't want to do the schoolwork, and because they're not in that usual environment, they feel like it's something that they can kind of push back on. And so it's like, how do you kind of get a rhythm going with that? Yeah. So I think maybe like I would love to reach out to her and see about maybe her coming on, because I've
that would be wonderful.
Yeah. What about you?
A couple authors here and there in the wellness industry. I think that would be good. Just to have like that round table discussion, because I still would love to have a book club. So someone that the other day, they're like, how? I'm like, do you have a Kindle?
Yeah.
Because I have plenty of books on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, even just to have like topic of discussions with authors of what people can take away from certain books at this time. Like really I feel like your knowledge is your wealth as well as your health is your wealth. So you could take the time to learn more things.
Oh, for sure.
So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I saw a thing on Instagram not too long ago that I was just like, oh, it was just like a very I mean, not cutting in a bad way, but just a real reality check. It was like, if you don't grow in some way during this period, the problem was never that you didn't have the time. It was that you lacked the discipline. I was like, dang.
You know what? That's
Wait.
tough love. That is
Yeah.
tough
It is.
love. That is a coach telling you the truth. If you really are passionate about something and you really want to do it, you are going to find the time to do it.
Yes, but I think we kind of come back to that point of like,
Yeah.
have grace with yourself. And I feel like
Yeah.
we did all need a couple of weeks to kind of figure this out. And it is constantly evolving. So I don't want to ignore the fact that this isn't just like, oh, the world took a vacation. There is a serious and scary thing happening. And
Yeah.
so it's like, but you just have to figure out that balance, right? Like, do all the things you have to do to be careful, to stay informed, to navigate the hard parts, but also where you have the space, what can you do with that too?
Right.
So,
I'm with you. Big time. Making sure everyone is staying safe. And I know you guys are going to be on lockdown starting on Friday.
Yeah, Lauren is.
yeah, I guess so, but we've already been.
No. The governor said that starting Friday.
Yes,
Oh, the whole
yeah,
state,
So Friday it's official.
Okay.
But it already was like the cities were already enacting things separately. So I think statewide it does start.
Okay.
It might still be, different. I've seen that there are different dates according to different counties and cities.
Right.
But I do think it starts Friday.
Wow. Well, you guys, please be safe. And everyone that's watching, please be safe. Like, take this matter seriously. Please wash your hands.
Mhm.
Stay home so we can flatten the curve so we could go out and have a good
Yeah.
time.
So this was all for, this wasn't all for nothing,
Yeah.
all the sacrifices that are being
So
made.
I'm excited. Well, I'm excited for Monday because we'll be on Monday, right?
On
Yes.
Monday.
At
Monday.
7:00.
Mhm.
Okay.
She said, okay.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like, yes, Monday at 7.
She
Yes.
knows what's going on, you guys. She does know what's going on.
I do,
Monday at
I do.
7. Yeah,
Yes.
so to close this out, everyone, if you have any questions, please feel free to submit it over at sabertv.com. We are releasing, we're actually updating the website this weekend, which will have like an episode guide to the grace period. So you can know a little bit more about us and you can ask questions and just look forward to what's to come.
And is there going to be is there a comment section below this on YouTube? Is
Yes,
it
there
open for
is.
comments?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe people can also, like, if in the meantime, it's like just comment below too with questions. Yeah. As well. Awesome.
Well, until next time, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. And we hope that you can share this note with your friends and family via social media. And anyone, do you guys have anything else to say?
No, just stay well and give grace to yourself and others.
Yep. I second that.
Well, until next time, everyone, enjoy your night with your loved ones virtually or face to face.
Yeah.
So we'll see you on Monday.
Bye.